Hello, Soroko Balthazar, and welcome to Balthazar Strategic Arcana. So I'm happy to showcase a mod that I've been watching being built for 2.5 years. It was created by Elessar 2. It's called War in the Pacific AE, and it's for Strategic Command World at War. It's just the PTO. So let's go ahead and hit this. Now this video, let's go ahead and play campaign. This video that I'm showcasing with this mod is, I'm just going to do pretty much a tour of the map, some examples of ship movement and all that, just to show the vastness of this thing. I have to start with the Japanese for a variety of reasons, pretty much because there's a decision and they start anyway. I also have an 1.5 hour long video, or it's actually about 1 hour and 40 minutes. It was the first turn I attempted to play against Elessar. We found some balance issues. They were pretty demonstrable to him once he got my turn. So I was dealing with submarine placement and Soviet mobilization, some issues with money and all that. Otherwise, I played probably about 40 hours with the first version, 8.2. This is 8.4. And it's great. So when you're playing the Japanese, like I said, I'm just going to do a review of the map, the units. I'm going to have the fog of war on or off. The first thing that pops on your screen is this decision. I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, note this decision is retroactive to 1937. It says, a momentous decision has to be made in terms of the future makeup of the key capital ships of the fleet. Debate which has raged through the Naval Ministry has been between the big gun faction, which favors the construction of 3 super battleships, the Yamato class, and the Naval Air faction, which includes Admiral Yamamoto himself, which would prefer that the Navy build 4 additional Shokaku class fleet carriers. A yes decision will choose to build 4 additional Shokaku class fleet carriers over a period of 2 years starting in 1942, with the extra steel allowing a destroyer unit to be completed as well. A no decision will have the Navy go ahead with the construction of the 3 Yamato class super battleships, dreadnoughts in game terms, that's brilliant by the way, over a period of 3 years starting in late 1941. Since the cost of the carriers includes both the planes and their crews, they will cost an additional 350 MPP. Now that's going to be spread out over some time. He's actually stretched it out. However, if the Yamamotos are canceled, the Japanese will suffer a 1,000 national morale penalty. So if you stick with the super battleships, well, you're not spending extra money. However, this is a new era, and airplanes are going to reign supreme everywhere. At least, I would say so. Anyway, however, if the Yamamotos are canceled, I already read this. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes and go with this. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys what I did in my next playthrough or what I'm going to do, but pretty much I think it will be this. Basically, I want to show the map. I want to show he's made a lot of additions, especially with the ships. We'll talk about that in a second. So we're going to take a tour. So let's go on out here. And well, I want to show the map first. So this map is vast. And we're going to, there's 3 zoom levels. This is the large, the planet view here. So you can see it's a polar projection. The vanishing point in perspective and a cartography, it's going to be the pole, but the North Pole is just off the map here. So you're gonna see these lines are going to go down like this. So it looks a little distorted at first. It looks like it might bother you, but when you start zooming in, nah, it's a pretty cool thing. So let's go ahead and take a look over here. Now I've got fog of war off, but I'll turn on and off as we go. You can see the task force here that was ready to do Pearl Harbor. And yeah, you're gonna have to war deck them. We might simulate that in a little bit, but I want to do map view or map tour first. So anyway, just to give you an example of what you're looking at. So we'll start in the Pacific. So one of the first things, well, here's 2 task forces out here. And here is Johnston Island. Now he made it. He did have a sub over at Wake. I was able to blow it up pretty damn easy. So that was like in vanilla WaW. Anyway, so there's a task force. Just look going back out here again. See, pretty crazy. Here's the Marquesas down here. Let's just go take a look. Now look at these atolls that he created. He used in the editor. This is brilliant, by the way. And a lot of these are usable. Here's Taputa in the Marquesas. Here's this is the Marquesas, but this is Tahiti right here. So they're usable. But he used a lake hex and placed it over on these water hexes. It's just brilliant. So you got regular atolls, not just a rocky island. So and movement. Well, and some of these are going to be impassable, but a place like this, movement cost +2, that makes sense too. Because that uses AP points in all their reefs. So anyway, here's Cook Islands. There's Tonga, Fiji. You can zoom in here. So these are, Fiji was British dependency. Well, really, here's New Caledonia, but I want to go up here. We'll go look at the Solomons in a second. Let's go on out and just, right here, the Gilberts. Here's the Gilberts right here. Now, in WaW, Hawaii's right here. Look at the distance from here to here. It's incredible. Let's go up here. So I have a small task force here. They're probably intended for Wake. You'll see in the video that I have that I did in my first turn, which is we had to abort and because we're restarting the match with the newest version. Yeah, I took it pretty easy. One of the nice features is bombardment. These ships can bombard and detrench now, at least the larger ships, cruisers on up, and that's helpful. It's very realistic, so you'll have to zoom in, bombard, and you'll see that in my playthrough of the turn. So there you go. It's pretty nice. So anyway, let's go zoom out and let's go look over here. Let's go look at Japan. And you can see the numbers of ships we got. Here we go, zoom in. Here's the Japanese Alps, Haida province. Isn't that something? It's beautiful. So for one thing, here's some examples of the ranges. Non-cruise mode. So, for example, here's a sub non-cruise mode. So they can go 15. Let's go ahead and shoot them out. Here's a destroyer. Well, his range is 25. As you're going to be able to see, with all these ships, you're going to start doing real task force now, but all the ships going to have different ranges depending on how fast they could go. So let's go ahead. We'll just put together a little task force out here. We'll look at the heavy cruiser. Go out to 23. Now let's go see how far out you can go with a destroyer on cruise mode. Well, right off the map, if I zoom out, it's gonna disappear. But way out here, here's Midway right here. So it can be done. Now, of course, the big boys are gonna be a lot slower. Here I am right here. And here's Midway. It's got 2 hexes. So I wouldn't do that normally, but you never know. Especially after you hit Pearl Harbor, you got a ways to go to get back home. You're going to probably lose planes. And one of the nice things is, and Elessar's done a good job because I practice this. Yeah, you'll have battleships that'll spawn here, a whole bunch of them. On every port's going to be covered. And I've been able to take consistently 4 down when they spawn, but I have done 5. But I will guarantee you, as Americans, well, at least in the beginning turn, there is no anti-aircraft here. And of course, if they got the anti-aircraft capability, I'm sure they're going to make this into fill all the ports of anti-aircraft. I would. Anyway, I digress. We're going to do a little map tour, though. That's what we're doing here. Okay, so let's go over here and take a look. So you can see here's the Maritime Province. and Siberia, Yakutsk. I think he even's got Magadan here. I've been to Magadan. Yeah, here's the highway of death. They call it the Kolyma Highway. This should be Yakutsk. Yes, it is. Let's go zoom in. Oh yeah, it's a vast expanse of nothing. I know he added mines, and I should have told Elessar when you watch this. Yeah, there's a diamond mine here. It's pretty and gold. So I know you had it add mines because you had some income problems. If you put them on the side of the map, well, I tell you what, if you put a mine in here somewhere or a couple of them, it might entice the Japanese to actually make a landing because nobody wants to go here. But if you got something here that could be grabbed, I'm sure the Japanese would be thinking about going land on Magadan, going up this road. And appropriately named the Highway of Death, built by Gulag Labor. So there you are. I'm not sure where he placed those mines. Maybe just add them over here by Irkutsk. Here's another nice feature, Tanatuva. Now that was actually an independent realm. Trying to get in there though? I don't think so. But you never know what could happen here on the frontier, you know. Yeah, Pavlov. You get Zhukov to come in here and go slap the Japanese around at Noman Han, then no. So anyway, let's go take a look at all this. So you can see a lot of security troops. Oh, there's a reason why. Here's the Chinese. So let's go zoom in here and take a peek because I'm going to show you something why China is so difficult. It's brilliantly designed. I've played 3 or 4 turns into it, and you got to be really careful. The Japanese, China is not going to be a pushover like it is in World at War. I guarantee you. You might want to put a lot of resources into it, and you may be able to break these guys up. I don't know, because of what can spawn. Parsons galore. Anyway, here you have the Chi-Coms here. That's Peng. And some of these units are pretty tough. Now you're going to see it's divisions and corps. So I am used to playing with divisions and corps because of Crispy's brilliant Fall Waste too. It's perfect. It's perfect. You don't have one big army on one hex that could hold. You know, an army would be spread all over 4 or 5 hexes. You know, one army counter. It works with World at War, but it doesn't work at War in Europe, at least not for me. At the scale of War and World at War, yeah, it's fine. But here, it's corps, it's divisions and detachments or regiments. It could be divisions, security divisions. But so this is the dispositions of the Chinese and the Japanese. You can see we got all kinds of specialization. I'm going to show you some purchases that you can make, and also the research is a lot different, a lot better. Plus the pool of MPPs both sides get. So anyway, I'm going to showcase here now one problem that the Japanese continually had in real life, historically, and that's the partisans. And if you think this is excessive, no, it's totally accurate. It's great. Now, in the initial setup, the Japanese pretty much got all these covered. But if you start moving stuff around, especially if you're going to move into the interior, you got to be really careful what you're moving around. So look at all these partisans here. So just on the Japanese side, well, it's pretty bad. And so as you well know, the ones with the red slash, those are resource partisans. But those are going to be devastating if you aren't covering like rail lines and stuff like that. And you got to start moving stuff around. And then these ones popping up. Partisan on the map. Oh my God. That will hurt. They're up in Manchuria. Let me go out a little bit here. So, yeah. Big problems. Go into China, you start digging into China, especially you want to even get these China ports and stuff like that. If you get in the interior, it's going to be difficult. And you can look down here. This is very accurate for the time. It's dirt roads. One little section of paved road maybe. Rail lines are pretty sparse. You got to take Changsha if you want to really get in here. You could go down through here, but that's tactics we want to get on. Here's Hong Kong. Through War Deck Hong Kong. There'll be a division there. It won't be a division. It'll be like a detachment. Yeah. So anyway, you're going to have partisan problems even down here. In Indochina, it could be the Viet Minh or other nationalists. In Laos, Cambodia, Kampuchea. So if you're in Tonkin, yeah. You're also going to have problems down here too. Could be nationalists or whatever in Kalimantan or Borneo. As a matter of fact, I've read a lot of papers about this whole area right in here, and with the split boundaries of the island and stuff like that. So one of the issues the Japanese had on Borneo were Chinese merchants and stuff like that. They had secret societies and underground networks, right, smuggling and all that, and particularly around Kuching in this area here, this cluster of towns on this border, because this was Dutch and this was British, and this is Sabah or North Borneo. So him putting those in here, that's accurate, Elessar. You probably know that, Minutai. A lot of people don't. They might pop up other places too, I believe. Anyway, let's turn on. Let's go turn on Fog of War again for a minute. Yep. So you can see we got some task forces here. These are probably intended for Brunei or Kuching. I know what I did with them. And here, probably for Malaya. Kota Baru's right here. Is that beautiful or what? Got a Thai unit. Now they got bullied into joining it with the Japanese, some say. But I do know for a fact that there was a segment of the Thai military that wanted to join the Japanese. They had to beef with the French and with this border here. They had to beef with and here in Arakan. They had to beef with the Burmese, but the Burmese are run by the British. You know, it's one of those deals. Let's go take a look up here. So yeah, some rough country here. Burma Road. Here's Laoshio, Mandalay. And then you got this frontier area here in Assam, Chittagong, Bengal. Pretty damn cool, man. So we go down. Let's go take a swing down. Look, one of my favorite areas is New Guinea in Australia. So you still got to tilt a little bit, but it's not real bothersome. Got Horn Island here. So we go look down here and zoom in. So all of a sudden it's big. So the vastness of Australia. So you want to go jump in Australia if you're the Japanese? Well, I'd probably stick with Darwin, maybe here. So you got a rail line. It stops at Catherine. That's accurate. Rail line. Yeah, it should end at Alice Springs. It does. And here's where the road trains nowadays go. Ayers Rock should be real close. Yep. Yeah, Victoria State, New South Wales, Wagga Wagga. Right on. Beautiful. Brilliant, man. Sydney. Brisbane. Toowoomba. There's Cairns. Townsville. Oh, Cooktown. Oh, here's Cairns right here. Yep. Pretty nice. Yeah, it's jungle up to about here, and it turns into this weird scrub stuff. This actually should be jungle here, I think, but it doesn't really matter. It's hot, it's humid, it's dry, but it is wet down here. Definitely. Look at here, we got wooded hills and stuff. So, yep. Let's go to New Guinea though. This is just great. Here's Port Moresby, Kokoda Trail, and then you got the Stanley Owens, and they're brutal. And let me tell you, my uncle worked for Bechtel Corporation, and it was in Irian Jaya, which is now Indonesia on the Dutch side, though. Right up over here. Where's Zara? Yeah, right up in here. Furthest this range, 16,000 foot mountain. There was a glacier on top. I got pictures too. This was in the late 70s, and nobody believed them. And they had a copper mine right below the peak, right below the ice. And this road literally went from the lowland jungles up to about 15,000 feet. Some of it on razor edge ridge lines, and then corkscrews and crosscuts and everything like that, and it went through every climate type on the planet, all the way up to ice from equatorial jungle. Incredible. So the one Stanley's down here, yeah, high mountains, movement costs 3, but he left a gap, and right here, and this is considered a mountain hex, and there you go. So the mountain hex is the gap between Boona and Port Moresby. It's brilliant. This should be Milne Bay down here, right? Yep. Oh yeah. So a lot of good fights in store. Here's Raboul. Perfect. So anyone asking what this red line is? Well, this is the equator. Now there's intertropical convergence zone. It's about 5 hexes wide. Of course, it could vary. And he worked on this weather. It's very complex, the different weather zones. But guaranteed, at least until this, at least except for maybe summer, you're going to get some. You're going to get some clear days. There's going to be a lot of rain, a lot of humidity, a lot of mud. So just be warned. There's the famous Spice Islands here. Yeah. So there you are right there, right through Borneo, or Kamloops Town as they call it. And as you all can see, it starts curving up because of the polar projection. So if you follow the equator, here's the Andamans. Wherever you got Christmas Island here, the Japanese actually landed there. Is it out there? There's something. That's Christmas Island there. Don't really need to go out there. Or is it here? Oh, no, that's Diego Garcia. Yeah, that's the UK-based joint and with Americans. Here's the atoll here. Here's Sri Lanka or Ceylon. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Let's go take a look at the Solomons. Oh, wow. Here's Guadalcanal. Tulagi was a great port there. So a lot of fighting. All the way up to New Georgia. Here's New Britain, of course. The Admiralties. Pretty cool, guys. Pretty cool. Let's go take a look at New Zealand. I actually haven't been down. I haven't looked down here yet. Oh, yeah, it's really tilted. It's way down there. But that's fine, right? I'm looking at sideways. I turned my head right now. Look at these convoy routes all over the place once they get activated. Fiji. Did we look at Alaska? Let's go look at Alaska. Oh, nice. Now, I spent a lot of time in Alaska. I hope you got a port in Kodiak. You did. Good man. Elessar. Where was Sam Paxman? You have to have. This actually was more important than Dutch Harbor. This whole end right here is still fortified. There are still ruins there of all the fortifications. People are still digging up hand grenades. Those Quonset that were buried and the doors were sealed. Guarantee it to this day. Cape Chiniak over here. And, yeah, Fognak Island. Nicely done, nicely done. Let's go take a look at Akutan. It's Akutan Island, so they have Dutch Harbor. Yep, Cold Bay. Unmak. Sagigik and Atka. Been out there. There's Adak. Been there too. There's Kiska. Now, the Japanese guy in Adak and the guy in Kiska. And the Komondorskis, how they look. There's that too. That's the furthest one out. There's Amchitka. They did atomic weapons testing on Amchitka. Here's the Komondorskis. Yeah, there's Bering Island. You got Andir Bay. It's probably off. Oh, he's got Nome. That's fine. My Andir here, but who's going up there? This is actually a pretty important naval base for the now. Down here in Petropavlos, but that's fine. So here you got these are the Kuril Islands, Japanese. It's even got a port here. Shimashirajima. Yeah, yeah. The Torofu. Yeah, these places are exotic, man. The Russians have occupied them now to the consternation of the Japanese. Sakhalin Island. Pretty interesting situation here with a line right across. Let's go over here and look at North America again. Let's go down to my neck of the woods. Yeah, here's Everett. This is where yours truly lives, right about here. This valley, that'd be Skagit Valley. Nice. Right here's a whole archipelago of islands. We can't put it on this map here. The San Juans. It's brilliant. So yeah, major port. He's using Tacoma as a port, and that would be deep in Puget Sound, Bremerton. So nice. Got Astoria. Looks good. Portland, Pendleton. It's a good spot. Yep. Blue Mountains right here. There's mine. Yeah. Big time mines. Matter of fact, the ruins of a whole bunch of mines are right in here on Interstate 82. Twin Falls, yeah, I used to make this run all the time. I had to work all over down here. Salt Lake. Great Salt Lake. Fine. Elko, yep. So this rail line that goes down, this is Interstate 80 now. Follows the rail line right here. Winnemucca. Crazy place if you want to go off Vegas, off Reno. Go to Winnemucca, man. There's everything you want is there. Yep, and there's gambling. It's Nevada, man, right? Here, let's look at the ports here. Yeah, San Francisco, Mirror Island. Oh, right on. How many ports? These are big ports, too. What do we got down here? San Luis Obispo. Okay, it says San Luis, but it's, yeah, Grapevine. Mojave Airport. Yep, here's all the oil. Very nice. Off the edge, San Diego. Yeah, edge problem here. Okay, so we got loot boxes down here. I don't know that's really a problem. That Jason had issues like with this too. I mean, it was a pain for him with the Soviet War mod I've been doing. When I first started, I had units that I couldn't see. I don't think that we just got to zoom out. So, here's some more oil here. Yeah, San Bernardino should be in there and all that. Well, Santa Ana, but yeah, it's Los Angeles. So, oh yeah, Oxnard. Oxnard's a great place. No, working with me. So here we got our loot box here from the British Isles. So did I show that? Let's go up. So you got British stuff. So as allies, you're gonna have to be mindful of this. Let's zoom in and see what we got here. Great Slave Lake. I don't think anyone's going up there. Yeah, here. Yeah, we got loot boxes. So yeah, not loot boxes, loop boxes. So we got Birmingham. So yeah, this is an abstraction. So it's going to show the convoys and yeah, to Eastern Pacific Ocean or to the West Indian Ocean. 3 turns either way. Pretty nice, huh? So there's a lot more I could show. Let's go look at the Philippines real quick. Let's zoom in here. Yeah, right. Pretty nice. Here's Clark Field, Bataan, Corregidor, but right. Davao should be here. Where's it? Down Mindanao. Yep. Jolo even. Palawan. See, that's the thing on it can't be done. It can't be helped with war or World at War. But Palawan, one of the most beautiful places on the planet, is he's well represented here. So anyway, as you can see here, we got a task force ready for the Philippines. So there you go. That's my little map review. And like I said, I do have an hour and 45-minute turn that I'm going to pull. So I'm going to use those as showcases of this mod. People have been asking, and I said, yeah, I'll get to it. But I've got 3 MP matches, and they're all with YouTubers. One is going to be going out in October. And then I've got this one that I'm starting with Elessar as a test. It is a test, but we're actually gonna play a real competitive match, and hopefully it won't break anything. Like I said, I did about 40 hours, probably total, maybe even more, a little bit, maybe a little less. I'm not sure because I sometimes just dabbled and goofed around. I did get in deep about 3-4 turns but I was hot seating both sides, so it was just getting a feel, and if there was any discoveries, I was going to send it to Elessar. Well, we actually did get some discoveries when I did my turn, and I was kind of overzealous on the war decks. And I knew it was going to. I know about war decks. I knew it was going to make the Soviets mobilize real high. Well, that wasn't the only problem because I did them all. And in most of my tests, I didn't do them all. All the ones I didn't need to do. The income for the Soviets is going to be a little too low. It could have been exploited by a discerning Japanese player. So that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that little overview. And yeah, So with that, I'll let you go linger on China. And, well, I'm glad I did this video. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And like I said, see you on the virtual battlefields. We got a lot more coming. Have a good evening. I am gone.